appreciate that. And our friendship, obviously goes a long way back. So I do appreciate the comments, and again, it's a true honor to have you officiate this ceremony. And for all the other distinguished guests, and veterans, and friends and family that have come to see this, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know everyone has a busy day to come here and spend time with me and my family to see me off from the military and off into my next adventure, whatever that may be. So, where to begin? 32 years is a long, long time, right? I started here, as General Arson said, in 1986 with Alpha Company 3505. During that time, I made a lot of friends, and a lot of those friends are here this morning. I'd like to ask all my friends and brothers from Alpha Company to please stand up. All these gentlemen that you see here today are the finest gentlemen I've ever met and the finest warriors that I've ever had the opportunity to serve. Sheriff Foxhole, Sheriff Poncho Lanner, and in some case, for some of you out there, administer a blanket party. Yes, I did say that. We did get blanket parties in those days, and they were quite common, especially for my roommate who just could not get what the Army was throwing down. So we helped him pick himself up, and we threw him back down. So, but that was a great night, Timmy. So just to give you a little story on that one. So my roommate, we went through basic AIT, jump school, RIP, all this stuff would come here. And the very first field operation that we went on was a 2-week suck fest in the rain most of the time. And we're out there marching. And all of a sudden I hear this thump on the road. And I look over, and it's my roommate, just with port arms laying face down on the ground. God. So that was the start of an adventure for this guy, because he was always the last guy in the platoon to do everything. Whether it be show up for formation, whether it be to turn his weapon into the arms room, whatever it may be, this guy was always the last guy, right? So who gets punished? Back in those days, it was all of us, right? So mass punishment, so we all did the same thing. And one night, it was Corporal Heaton, right?
It was.
Corporal Heaton comes up to me. Old Timmy, he was a little bit intoxicated. And we had division guard at the time. So I had guard duty. And he said, "Shoop, give me the keys to your room. I'm just going to go in here and just lay one on Bowman. I got to get him." I'm like, "No, we can't do it that way." So we worked it out so it looked like that I was coming off of guard duty, right? And that way, we could make it not look like I let them in, right? So we worked out this plan that we would put our old trench coats on, they give the raincoats, and we put our old protective mask on so they couldn't see who they were. Right? And just as we're getting ready to enter the room, here comes the battalion staff duty NCO. And he's like, "We don't know." Now, he was in our... And we're like, you don't want to get in trouble by battalion staff duty, right? So, nothing, Sergeant. He's like, "You're getting Bowman, aren't you?" And he goes, "I'll tell you what, I'll turn the lights out." We're like, all right. Staff duty's on our side, right? So we sneak into the room, and Bowman's all laid over there snuggled up in his bed. And we all got two on each side of his bed. Now, you got to remember, in the old pro match, you can't see nothing but what's right in front of you, right? In a pitch dark night. So I got up there on the head of his bed, and we all got like this and held the things down and looked at each other like, "You ready to go?" And we just laid into him. And I'm sitting there just slugging away. It felt like forever. I couldn't hear anything either. And I'm like, I'm just going like this, and I'm like, "Is there still anybody in here? Or is it just me?" And I look up, and they're still slugging away. So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, those were the ways we got people in line in the Army in those days. We don't do that anymore. But, I was surprised. I thought we killed Bowman because the whole next day was a weekend. And Bowman I got up, went to breakfast, came back, went to the gym, came back, and he's still in bed. And I'm like, I'm sweating because now I'm thinking we just killed this guy. He looks like he just did when we beat him up, right? And finally, that night, he got up out of bed, and he's laying over there, or he's sitting up like this. And I know y'all had something to do with this. I know you did. I'm gonna get you. So the next duty day, the whole platoon gets called in the hallway, and the platoon sergeant, Sergeant Barnes at the time.
Old Barnes. Old
Vietnam veteran, 173rd Airborne paratrooper, old school NCO. And he had this southern drawl about him, says he, now man, this ain't the old army. Just don't do it that way no more. And Bowman's standing behind him, right, like, you know, and you know, you just can't beat up people anymore. We don't do that's the old army. We don't do that. So I'm gonna tell you, I better not hear this again because you answered me. And we're all like, Roger, we're like, but a lot of my memories focus around Alpha Company 3505 and all of you gentlemen that we served with. We had great times. We had tough times. We had some times out here at Fort Bragg. We froze our toes off. I'm being polite here, but you know, we froze ourselves to death. And you know, but those times are what made me the man that I have become. Because as the old cliche says, you know, those things that don't kill you make you stronger. And it is also another cliche to say with the movie Band of Brothers that, you know, people that serve together are Band of Brothers. But, you know, I can honestly say to this day, these gentlemen that sit here in this audience are my brothers. I wasn't born with any brothers, but I will tell you, every single one of you guys, all right, and I think we all share that bond that has surpassed all these years. With all the reunions we've had and all the fun times we continue to make. So, but as General Larson said, I've had a very long career. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up, right? I really can't figure it out. I enjoy what I do now. It's a very enjoyable job. And Lou, I appreciate you. Sergeant Major retired DeCarlo is my boss. He's also here with us today. Awesome gentleman to work with and work for. Buck, again, appreciate you coming. But again, the Army for me has really been about relationships, right? The first 4 years in the infantry was kind of the crucible of what turned me from a boy to a man, right? And kind of set the groundwork for everything that came afterwards, because every single thing I've done since I left Alpha 3505 in 1990 has really kind of framed how I conduct myself, not only as a professional, but as a person as well, right? Sergeant Major Marrero, our platoon sergeant during those days. I can't say I was on your foosball team, but you know,
nice.
One of the things that Rich is like, yeah, let me tell you something. Those two used to always go back and forth, I will tell you. Especially at lunchtime when they would get in the day room, playing that foosball. But Albert, we've stayed friends as well, you know, and I appreciate that. You've come to a lot of our reunions, and that's rare, because I will tell you, as I moved up in ranks, it gets very lonely, right? You know, the one thing that's the great thing about the infantry and being an enlisted private is that you get to share a lot of experiences, both on duty and off duty, with your brothers, right? Okay. But for a platoon sergeant, a platoon leader, a company commander, a first sergeant, a battalion commander, sergeant major, it's a very lonely job because there's only one of you, right? But I'll have to say, sergeant major, it was, I think you blended yourself perfectly. And we had, without a platoon leader, I think what'd you have, us 18 months or a year, 18 months by yourself with no lieutenant, and we were the number one platoon in the company. I can't say for the battalion, but we were the best, right? And that's rare to have a senior non-commissioned officer be able to take a platoon like that and keep them at a high level without an officer being there to direct everything. So, a lot of people think, a lot of people I've met in my life. I have old friends from high school that I've stayed with all these years. 30 plus years we've known each other, right? And it's been an absolute pleasure, right? And I call you guys family as well, right? Because you've been there. Jay, your parents, you know, my mom had the heart attack. You know, your parents pulled me in for whatever the 45 days we stayed with you guys. I hope I didn't put you guys out too much, you know. But Kevin and Liz, you know, you guys have always been there as well when my mom passed and so forth. So it's been a distinct pleasure to share my life with each and every one of you guys that's here today. All right? But I'd be remiss to say that the most important person in my life, my wife Magda, right, who, although we've only had a short time together, it's been awesome, babe. And I look forward to the future with the boys. Come on now, don't make me cry. So our major Shoop, Tom. Tom was my mentor throughout my time. Right? You know, when I came in the Army, he was already in the Ranger Regiment. I think he was already a Sergeant E5 when I came in as a PV2, little mosquito wing. And he said, Scott, he says, watch out for those guys they called strap, right? And strap was an old term we used to have back in those days, was stand tall, ready around the clock. Right? Those were the guys that were always looking good, and they also they walked it and talked it. And Tom, you were one of those guys I always looked up to, all the way through my career, all the way, you know, until you retired. So I appreciate all the mentorship you provided me all those years, making me a good NCO, and telling me what not to do as an officer. Which some of the advice I can't honestly say I took, because I just have never learned to keep my mouth shut. Tom's like, Scott, you just need to learn to shut up. So, but again, I appreciate all the friendship, all the comradeship that every one of you guys have given me over the years, and I look forward to the future. And I salute all of you.
Oh,